Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Friends of the Lower Appomattox River 6th Annual 2024 State of the Trail. So glad to see so many partners. This is definitely the opportunity to share information and listen to your ideas and suggestions. And it's one of the keys to FOLAR being able to achieve our efforts to create the 25-mile pedestrian bicycle path along the beautiful Appomattox River Blue-Egg Greenway you see behind us here. I'm Wendy Austin, Executive Director of the Friends of the Lower Appomattox River. And I am going to introduce our board chair here, Sam Hayes. I'm not sure if he's quite in yet.
Oh, yep, there you go. That's a better picture. I'm here. I can't get
Yay. Thank you, Sam. Let me do my little introduction for you. Because I'm really pleased that we're fortunate that Sam brings experience as a senior transportation engineer to our board. And he, after finishing oversight of the completion of the Capitol Trail. So lots of great experience that he brings to us, and also his passion for the community and for completing our trail since he's an avid bicyclist. Okay, Sam, thanks.
Well, thank you, Wendy. And that's a better shot anyway. And I don't have a good background of the river either, so I can't get my camera going. But I do like. I think I like Heather's the best there. But anyway, it's a lot of exciting things going on here in 2024, and I'm really proud and happy to be a part of that. I think one of the things you're going to hear about is our growing presence there along the river in the city of Petersburg. That's really exciting. I know we had an open house yesterday for that, but it is really good to be a part of this, and we're looking forward to adding on to our trail this year and continuing to plan in the future. And Wendy, I'd like to just turn it back over to you guys for your program. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Sam. Okay, so I'm also very, very pleased to be here with our full staff complement pictured here. Of course, everyone knows Heather Barrar, our Regional Trails Program Director. We've been working together 5 years now to make this Appomattox River Trail happen. And we're really fortunate to have all her expertise and connections as well, helping us grow. Also, we have Elise Neuscheller here, our environmental stewardship coordinator, working on finishing her second year with us and helping with great effectiveness coordinate our natural resource management efforts, which we've grown through the past 3 years. And welcome to Jackie Very, our communications and marketing manager, who has been with us since January 2nd. Jumping into the fire full speed ahead, and she is really completing the amazing A team. That's A for Appomattox River team. And so we're really excited to have the team together and working forward. Also important people in our ability to move our mission forward are our FOLAR board, our leadership. The FOLAR organization is strong and lasting 24 years now, in large part because of our board leadership. You see listed here. They're directly connected to our service area jurisdiction. Each one of the 6 jurisdiction partners listed here, Chesterfield, Dinwiddie, Prince George, Colonial Heights, Hopewell, and Petersburg, all send appointed representatives to serve on our board. And then we do have elected at-large folks from around the region, including from Virginia. Well, Virginia State University is a standard representation, but we also serve Fort Craig Adams and the National Park Service, as you see here on the map. of the Appomattox River. And to your left, I think on the west, is Lake Chesden, and the corridor runs east 25 miles to the convergence with the James River. So again, we work in partnership with these 6 jurisdictions and these major entities of the region to make the river corridor a welcoming environment, and to encourage everyone to connect and share and enjoy the benefits of a healthy Appomattox River Blueway Greenway. And is that right, Jackie? I think we have something that you get to.
Yeah, alrighty, guys. So sounds like last year we had a lot of fun with our poll questions that we did. So we're bringing them back. We have a question for you today regarding what your favorite spot or location along the Appomattox River Trail, what that would be. So if you can, go ahead and send your response to the chat. We're really eager to see if there's any trends or any places that you particularly like. The regional park. Awesome. The Ferndale Trail. Beautiful. Yeah, but we'll keep receiving answers for about a minute. Ooh, another Appomattox River Regional Park. Yeah. Ferndale Park, River Walk. Lots of places we're seeing in our backgrounds. I see that's a trend. Awesome. Maybe some of you can get together and become trail buddies. Go walk those trails together. It's awesome too, thinking about how these trails serve as third places. So places that you can go and just experience mindfulness or recreation, whatever you desire. Awesome. Gateway to the Petersburg. Great. Thanks, guys. This is really insightful. University Boulevard. Awesome. Yes, you do, David. We're waiting. All righty. Well, thank you, everybody. Great answers. I'm glad you're enjoying what we're doing and working towards here. All righty. Turning back to you, Wendy.
Right. We'll tally up those results. And also, while you're in there typing in chat, please go ahead and put your name and organization that you're with, so we all know who we're chatting with. Also, I want to say that my favorite place is the whole Appomattox River corridor. All right. Moving on, our next little section, in 2022, we're going to talk about a little bit of our achievements, and then get it over to Heather for an update on our trail progress. In 2022, we developed a 5-year strategic plan with input from the community to guide our work through 4 key strategic goals that we developed. We've begun mapping our efforts and accomplishments to the strategic goals. And we're going to just quickly run through those. Our first goal here, to serve a leadership role in convening and developing the Appomattox River Blueway Greenway, sets the focus for programs like you see listed here: our monthly stewardship Saturdays, our regional cleanups, and creating native seed packets. That's been a wonderful project. You'll hear more about these projects as in a minute, as we go forward. Our second strategic goal, engaging the community through outdoor recreation, education, and conservation-based activity to support health and wellness, guides learning and cultural programs like our environmental stewardship scholarship, made possible through the generosity of the Liu Family Fund, Victor Liu, one of our founding members. And we have been able to award 6 scholarships since the beginning of the scholarship program just 6 years ago. And about 6 years ago. You also see a photo of our art on the art sturgeon sculpture project. We worked with Culture Works on that. Please come down and see the sculptures at a few of the trailheads along the river. And of course, our annual 5K and paddle battle offer great recreation. Okay, our third goal, providing leadership in advocacy, communication, marketing, and philanthropy for the Appomattox River Blue-A Greenway, encapsulates our efforts to provide clear and understandable communication that will help expand everyone's experience along the Appomattox River. And to that point, we want to hear more from everyone in the region, and we are beginning a communications survey to learn more from you. So we hope you will participate in that survey. We'll be sending the link out here at the end of the program and having it up on our social media and other access points. So please do help us out and let us know what you're thinking around the trail and how we might partner best together. And so speaking about our partnerships and communication, yes, next slide. We're going to be focusing on these areas of communication. We want to strengthen our two-way, as I mentioned, our survey. We want to grow our membership and advocacy. So we definitely want to have everyone come down and enjoy the river. And then all this happens through our work with our volunteers. And that would be, we had a great year with our volunteer engagement this year in 2023. You're looking at our great numbers here. We are very grateful to these volunteers for their support, which has more than tripled, I'd say, through the efforts of Elise and her volunteer coordination, getting all that organized. You see, we had 260 volunteers coming out, given more than 1,200 hours. And that's really about equivalent to a full-time person out there working on the trail. So we appreciate that. And of course, we still have lots of needs for volunteers and their help working to improve and maintain our natural resources along the river. Maintenance is really key once we get that improved. So always volunteer opportunities will continue along the river. And then trail counts are probably another of our important volunteer activities made possible by all the help from folks across the region. There are 2 types of trail count processes lists that we conduct. One is through the automated collection using the traffic counters. That data is collected continuously. We have 2 volunteers who have helped shepherd that and go out through the year to collect the data and analyze it. Our board member, Paul Reynolds, and his wife, Craig. We very much appreciate their support. And I want to mention the equipment. The Trafex equipment was donated by the Crater Health District, another great partnership. The green chart below the trail counts, the green chart there shows the summary of automated counts for 2023. For each of the trailheads along the river. This data helps us understand where a trail point is more accessible. When you see higher numbers, that would indicate that the facilities is very accommodating and accessible to folks of all ages and all abilities. And it's also very important for us to identify ways to help make each trailhead and the whole area more welcoming to everyone. The second counting method, one more counting method that's important is our all volunteer counts, and our volunteers go out to each of these trailheads to collect data twice a year. They sit at the trailheads and collect the human actual interaction and information as folks walk the trail, which is also very important to our development of welcoming corridor and trail. Thank you. And Jackie now has another question that she's going to pose.
All righty, so on to the next poll question. This will be using the Zoom poll technology. So you will simply select what you think is the correct answer from the choices that pop up on your screen. This time, we want to know which volunteer activity you think is our most popular. So go ahead and pick, and then once we get to the end, we should be able to see what some of the popular answers are and compare those to the correct answer or answers. Yeah, really cool. Answers are coming in. We're seeing the bars moving. Great, guys. We'll leave it open for a few more seconds. All righty, good deal. So we just closed the poll, and this was a bit of a trick question because there are actually two correct answers. We're sorry to fool you like that, but trash cleanup and invasive plant removal are our two most popular volunteer activities. And you can probably tell from our presentation and the slides and pictures you're seeing so far. There will be more info later on how you can get involved in some of those volunteer activities and more. All righty, thank you all for your participation.
Great, thanks, Jackie. Always fun to hear from everyone, and we appreciate it. All righty, now we can get into the progress of the trail.
Great.
And this is
Heather,
Heather, thanks.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's so good to see so many folks online this morning. We are so appreciative to everyone's support and interest. We have a lot of folks here for the first time and a lot of folks coming back for their 6th State of the Trail. So thank you for that. As you know, if you've been here a few times, you know we've kind of refined how we present the State of the Trail. As Jackie said, we're kind of doing what we did last year. And as we think about State of the Trail and building a 25-mile park and trail system, it's more than just miles on the ground, right? There's a lot of different pieces and parts that go into that. So these are kind of the categories of how we think about our work at FOLAR. So we're going to talk about our accomplishments for the last year, thinking through these different categories of planning efforts, land conservation, actual trail construction, giving you a funding update, and then ending with the natural resource management. But before we get there, I want to make sure that everyone knows about our regional master plan. So next slide shows you our master plan. So in 2016, the Cameron Foundation funded a regional master plan to be made for the Appomattox River Trail. So FOLAR led that effort, but of course we did that with the community and all 6 localities. We had many community meetings across the entire region in the evenings and during the daytime to get community input. And what this plan does is really lays the route of the trail as it goes through the region. identifies some sensitive areas to avoid, and really makes sure we're making those strong connections across jurisdictions. The planning process also created a sign plan at the same time. So we developed this logo for the actual trail itself. And then the sign plan lays out the fonts, the colors, the sign styles. So any partner can use this plan to create a cohesive sign system for the whole region. Again, we want to make sure users have a cohesive experience across all 20 miles, and that we're creating one system for the entire region and not 6 different park systems. These plans can be found online, and Jackie's put that in the chat for you. But I also wanted to mention these are static documents. They were adopted in 2017 by all the localities, and we're putting that information into their comp plans. But it is a static PDF, and it's not maybe the most up-to-date. You know, as we're getting on the ground and getting things built, the alignment has changed a little bit. So if you want the most up-to-date alignment, you should call us definitely and chat with us, or you can check out our Appomattox River Land Conservation Tool. And Jackie's going to put that link in the chat for you. That tool does keep the most up-to-date alignment that you can see. And of course, we're happy to share that GIS data if that's helpful to you. So again, these master plans are really the guide, really helped get us started. And as we move forward, we have to get more detailed plans to actually get trail on the ground. But these planning efforts, you know, definitely brought the community together and really has been a great guide for us in the last few years. So the next slide shows you the main route summary. So this is the handout that everyone got from us last week before the meeting. And this is a screenshot from your summary, and this is how the master plan is laid out into these 20-some different segments. And what the main route summary does is give you almost like a journal of what's happening at every single section. Every section tells you what locality you're in, how many miles are in that section, and then it tells you what's happened year over year. And so every year we add some red text. That red text is the most up-to-date thing that's happening in that segment. But we've decided to keep all the old historical text just to give us that historical context and memory. So if you read some black text and you think, well, that doesn't seem right anymore, it might not be right now, but that's what was happening in that year. And we just want to keep the region on the same track to remember, oh yeah, we did apply for that funding for that section, or yeah, the alignment used to be over here and it's moved over there. And it's just kind of keeping us all on the same page. This document gets longer every single year because we're adding to it. And I want to thank the localities and the partners who really helped me make this document and make sure it's accurate. All the localities and partners do review this document and weigh in. So it really is a group effort to keep all 25 miles and 6 jurisdictions moving forward in the same direction. So you should have that handout. We're not going to go through it in detail like we used to 6 years ago, but you do have it for reference, and feel free to call me if you have any questions about it. The end of the document has a summary, and that's what we're going to go over right now is the summary. So the next slide is our newest fund development map, and it's not quite online yet, but we will send it to you once it's online. This map shows the status of funding for each trail section. So sections that are complete, sections that are partially funded, fully funded, or not funded yet. And we take this map to many of our meetings, to funders, to show them what's happening, and we try to keep this again updated as much as possible. We also mentioned those major partner trails that we're working with, like the Fall Line Trail, the East Coast Greenway, and some possible connections to the Capitol Trail. So other trails are mentioned on here, but really the focus is the status of the Appomattox River Trail. Okay, I think that is my background, and we can move into the actual update. Yeah, thanks, Sid. That's great. We'll start with planning efforts. So like I shared, you know, the master plan is a great guide, and it really tells us what we need to be working on. But to actually get to construction, there's a lot of planning that has to happen. So FOLAR is working with each locality, identifying areas, identifying funding sources, and getting plans done. So in 2023, we completed a conceptual plan for the Appomattox River Regional Park in Prince George. You can see that concept plan on the screen. This park is a park with some of the lowest usership, and we've heard from folks that they love the park. It's beautiful, great river views. It's just not quite as welcoming. You're not quite sure you're on the right path. So we have been working with Prince George County to identify improvements to the current footprint. So we're not going to really change the current footprint. We're just going to improve it. Open the view sites a little bit, put in some ADA paths up front, put in new native pollinator gardens, and reforest some existing open space to kind of offset that footprint that we are improving. So that concept plan was completed in 2023, which means this year in 2024, we are working on construction plans. So always the next set of plans to get you to that shovel ready. But we're in that process with a consultant right now and hope we can go out to bid later this year or early next year on that project. We think it's going to be great improvements. We think it's going to bring more traffic to the park. And like Wendy showed you, we have trail count data. So we have data that we can show what these improvements are bringing more people to these park and outdoor spaces. The other thing that we're hoping to do in 2024 is take that concept plan we showed you last year for Ferndale Park in Dinwiddie County and actually go to the next level of planning and start our design plan and construction plans for that. So again, these plans take a lot of time to work through. They all have public input. They all have community dollars coming towards them. And it really is just the next step to getting the improvements on the ground. And the next slide shows you some of our inspiration that we are pulling from for the improvements at the Prince George Park. Really still keeping it a very natural and native park, but really, like I said, opening it up, providing some picnic areas and some mindful experiences at the park entrance in partnership with the Crater Health District. So let's move on from planning and let's move to land conservation, another extremely important part of our work at FOLAR. Because we are a state designated scenic river. I don't know if we've said that yet today, but we are a designated river and we're very proud of that designation. And we really want to protect the riverfront to protect that scenic viewshed, whether you're paddling on the river or standing on the riverbanks. We want to protect the land for wildlife, for habitat, for forest health. And so we are using that master plan again to start prioritizing where we protect. So we're protecting where the trail will go. And then also working with private owners to protect other lands along the river. In 2023, we are so excited that we closed on 8 acres in Western Petersburg. This was private property. FOLAR acquired it, and we are protecting it forever for public access. It's about 1/4 mile. And what's really important is that that is the last private gap between Petersburg and Dinwiddie. So now we can move to that planning phase and get the trail improved and have public access. So this is just a really exciting project. We are so happy that we closed on it this year, and we are about to protect that property with an easement in the next week or so. Chesterfield County. In Chesterfield County, we also, with partners, Capital Region Land Conservancy and Chesterfield County Parks and Rec, we protected some land on the north bank right there in Ettrick. So again, just more land that is going to be publicly accessible forever. It's just, I can't say how important that is for us that we are protecting this land for public access for everyone. So we are excited to be increasing the public access. Chesterfield County is working on their master plan for that park. So more parks coming online soon. In 2024, we're just going to be getting a little bit more land from Capital Region Land Conservancy. Did a land acquisition in Petersburg last year, and they're going to be donating that to the Appomattox River Trail system. And we'll be protecting that land, like I said, with the other private property. The other goal for us in 2024 is to start start to protect all the land needed for the trailhead where the Fall Line Trail and the Appomattox River Trail come together. And I'll be showing you a map of where that is in a couple slides. But we have a park called Patton Park, and there's still a few private parcels within that footprint. So right now we are going to start that process to make sure we get all the public land needed to make a great trailhead for those regional trails to come together. If anyone, we go to the next slide and look at our total land conservation for the corridor. So 24% of the corridor is protected. That's a little over 900 acres. And, if you know of any landowner who has land on the river or in the watershed they want to protect, please call us or Capital Region Land Conservancy or any of the other state partners. We are happy to come out and make a site visit. Whether that land is publicly accessible or is still privately held, it still adds to the view shed. It adds to water quality and air quality. So we definitely love to talk about land conservation, and please introduce us to folks who who are interested in those same goals. And we will keep on seeing this number go up. That is our goal, is to keep on seeing land conservation numbers go up on the river. Thanks, Sid. So we talked about planning, we talked about protecting the river. Now let's talk about the number everyone wants to hear about, is how many miles of trail are on the ground. So in 2023, Hopewell put a lot of miles on the ground. They put in a whole bike lane network in the entire city. We're only reporting 3 of those miles because that is the route of the Appomattox River Trail. When you get to Hopewell, the trail does come off the river and goes through the city on a bike lane system. And then it comes back to the river here at the Riverwalk. So if you haven't seen the bike lanes in Hopewell, they are beautiful. It's amazing they put in an entire network at one time. It's a really great project and a really great model for the rest of the region. And Hopewell was also able to extend the Riverwalk. And here's Elise and I making a visit last fall on the new section. It's getting longer and longer, and there's still plans to extend it all the way to the marina. So if you haven't seen the new section, that really is beautiful, and it's just really a unique experience because this portion is tidal. It really is a different experience every time you visit the Riverwalk. You have a different river experience. In 2024, we expect that Colonial Heights will be extending their portion of trail. If you visit the current Roslyn Landing Park, you would see one of those new sturgeons that Wendy mentioned, and the trail will be going east another about almost half a mile. So we hope that should be going in this year. Now, how do we make all of this trail construction happen? The next slide talks about trail funding. So of course, funding is how we make all this happen. And again, that's all partnerships, localities, regional organizations, all doing their part to put in grants and funding requests. So our big announcement for 2023 is that $20 million was secured in smart scale funding for the Tri-Cities. Really, the Crater Planning District Commission, the Tri-Cities Area MPO, and the localities took the lead on this. And this is probably the biggest one-time investment we have had in the Tri-Cities for the trail system. So we are just so thankful for this support and really excited to see these sections coming online. Colonial Heights and Hopewell are pictured here. I'm sorry, Colonial Heights and Petersburg are pictured here. In the circle, you can see the green sections that were funded. And then on the next slide, we are showing where the Hopewell section was funded with Smart Scale. And then also wanted to mention that we are really excited that Petersburg is looking at some grant funding, also really being proactive and looking at RAISE and Outdoor Recreation Legacy Program funding and partnering. So again, if any locality or organization has any funding ideas, definitely give us a call. We are happy to help on those grant applications, provide those regional connections, provide that regional language. It does take every single organization doing their part, but we really feel like we can help provide some of that regional context for you as you go after funding. So again, thank you to the PDC and MPO. We are just so delighted to have this great influx of funding. I think we're going to transition a little bit from the trail and funding and talk about natural resource management. Oh, no, sorry, the Fall Line Trail. One more trail, thank you. So the Fall Line Trail I mentioned before is a partner trail, a 42-mile trail from Ashland all the way to Petersburg. And we are really thankful that the second section being built by VDOT is the southern section. It's 8 miles from Petersburg north to Chester. And you can see the alignment here. And as it goes from Petersburg across the Appomattox River through the VSU campus, this section should be going out to bid this year, and we should be seeing some construction in the coming years. So another great trail system. We are just so excited to be at the crossroads of this. Patton Park, you can see in this map, is what I mentioned before about being a trailhead for both trail systems coming together. And we will be looking at doing some land acquisition, and we have funding to make improvements in this park too. So you should be seeing this coming online very soon. And we are really thankful to be part of this planning process. And there's a lot of great work from the Fall Line. I think Jackie put a link in the chat for you. There's a new Fall Line vision plan that we would love for you guys to check out and see all the exciting things happening along that alignment and how we're going to get connected from our region back up to the Richmond region through this trail system. Okay, so I think that takes us to the next slide, which is natural resource management. So we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit from building the trail system and those amenities. We always say at FOLAR that we really are unusual. We're not just a trail organization. We're not just an environmental group. You know, we're not just a river group. We're kind of doing it all here at FOLAR. And so natural resource management is very important to us as we protect this 20-mile corridor. We have a beautiful corridor, but we really want to protect that forest system and make sure we're really ready for climate change. So we have two goals we're doing under natural resource management. And that first one is invasive plant management. And for those of you who don't know about invasive plants or invasive insects, they are organisms who are not from this area, and they're able to outcompete the native species. And you might think, well, what does that matter, right? Like you can see, it's still very green and lush. It's producing oxygen, right? It's holding in the soil, but it's outcompeting the native plants, and it really is causing a loss of biodiversity. And our native plants and animals aren't able to eat these plants or pollinate these plants. So we really do need to take care of these invasive species in our environment. And it's not an easy job. It takes a lot of time and energy, a lot of labor to go back to these sites over and over again. But we really do feel like it is the right thing to do, and it really is going to make sure our forests are healthy and able to withstand the environmental change. Here's just a great before and after we love to show of volunteers removing an invasive species. And in this case, we're removing an invasive species and uncovering a historic site. So this is the Historic Mill Foundation. So really, this has some multiple benefits of improving the environment as well as uncovering and restoring a historic site. The next slide talks a little bit more about our program. So we are partnering with the Department of Forestry, and we have started a program. And this last year, we completed our first invasive plant management plan. So this consultant, VHB, went out into the entire river corridor and all the public lands on the corridor, about 650 acres, they inventoried. So now we know what invasive species we have in the corridor, where they are, and what's their density. And then what is the prescription, if you will, to clean up those invasive species. This is really exciting to have this holistic view of the entire riverfront. This is all, like you can see, GIS based. And then our plan for this year is to come out to localities and start sharing this data and talking about how we together can start to control these invasive species. Elise, you saw all those hours. Elise is doing this with volunteers. We have a pilot area in Petersburg, and we're actually seeing native plants coming back as we're removing invasive species. And it also really just provides a better user experience on the trail to have a more open and native environment. So this is a huge goal of ours this year. We are so thankful for the support of Department of Forestry, and really looking forward to getting each of you involved into these invasive plant removal efforts. And then the next slide, as we remove invasive plants, we also have to make sure we have good native plants in place. So sometimes, like we've seen, the native plants come back on their own. So we have some examples of areas where we have great native plant seed bed in place, and that's coming back. But sometimes our removal methods really just take us back to bare soil, and we have to come back and do some replanting. So in 2023, we did a lot of site preparation. And in 2024, in March, Elise will tell you more, but we have 2 planting events going on where folks can come get involved. And I wanted to mention our partners for these events are the James River Buffer Program and James River Association, as well as VCAP and the Soil and Water Districts. And I really wanted to tell you that because this funding is available to all of you to use on residential properties or commercial properties. If you have buffers or plantings or other conservation practices you're interested in, these are all great funding sources for you to take a look at. We really feel like at FOLAR, we're focusing on the riverfront and putting these pilot projects in that not only restore the environment, but provide a pilot and a place for folks to come see what these practices look like, and hopefully go back and take those back home and do those practices at home. So we encourage you to take a look at these programs. Jackie put a link to our website where we share these links, or you're of course welcome to go to those links directly. But again, we want to make sure that you understand that these are all resources available to you. They've actually partnered with the Historic Petersburg Foundation and done a native planting project, again, that's restoring historic resources. So we love to see those co-benefits and cross benefits of projects. I think that gets me to the end of the State of the Trail. So I am going to pause and see if there are any questions or comments at this point, and then we'll have another chance at the end to see if there's any questions or comments. Okay, I think that was a good pause. And please put your information in the chat. If you have any questions in the chat, we can answer questions that way. And I'm going to hand it back to Jackie for one more poll question for you guys.
All righty, the last one, we swear. So we want to know this time, and this will operate just like the last poll. So just fill out or select the correct answer to this question on your screen. We want to know when you think the Appomattox River became a designated Virginia Scenic River. And we'll leave this poll open for about 30 more seconds. Great, yeah, we're seeing them coming in. Mixed answers here, ooh.
Wow, I'm surprised seeing these results.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm surprised folks know, right? One of those details, one of those exciting.
All righty, awesome. Thank you for your participation, everybody. We just closed the poll, and we apologize because this is another trick question. So while a portion of the Appomattox River was originally designated in 1977, the designation area was also extended both in 1998 and 2011. So if you guessed any of these 3 answers, you did great, and better than me. I had this on myself, so great job. And that is Oh, thank you all for your participation, and I'll send it back to Wendy for an important announcement.
Right. Thanks, Jackie. And thanks, Heather. And boy, everyone, you see how much progress we make each year, and it takes year after year, and it takes everyone, all our partners, to achieve our mission, work toward achieving that mission of conserving, protecting, and promoting the Appomattox River for all to enjoy. We think that's not only humans, but other living entities along the river. So we really appreciate your partnership, and we have really made progress working on that trail. And then as the trail developed and exposed all the opportunities for improving our natural resources, our mission, our work keeps growing, and our staff keeps growing. So we have, to that end, we do have big change coming. And that change really connects and is driven to our last strategic goal. I'm very strategic goal driven this year, now that we have that. That goal is to invest in our board and staff and organizational resources to advance our mission and impact the region. And to do that, the exciting change we have coming will provide unlimited opportunities for progress and for joy along the river. And for everyone in the community. And for the last 24 years, as we've operated as a nonprofit organization, we've been fortunate to partner with the Crater Planning Commission. All through the years, they've provided generously space to conduct our work. But as I said, our work is growing and our staff is expanding, and we recognize we have to expand our space. And so that brings me to our really big and exciting announcement. Thanks. We're moving. Woohoo! We're moving and creating a new trail center at the center of the trail, the Appomattox River Trail. We'll be leasing the space, beautiful building space with an option to buy. It's 5,900 square feet of building that sits on more than a half-acre lot and gives us an outdoor garden space and courtyard right next to the historic old brick house run creek, which flows right to the Appomattox River. So it's all connecting again. We'll just be one block up from the Appomattox River Trail and steps from the exciting Petersburg dining business area, and right on Market Street, you see there. So we'll be easily accessible to everybody in the region. We're really excited about it because it allows FOLAR to host a lot more workshops, learning workshops, and events for the community. The garden space, Elise will be able to use to propagate native plants and have volunteers help plant those plants along the trail. We'll have space to host community events, conferences, that sort of thing. So lots and tons of opportunity and also for biking and recreation. Again, just a block up from the trail. So we have really had some fun here, though the building does still need some repairs and improvements before we move in. Again, our volunteers have stepped up amazingly, providing more than 300 hours of volunteer time, improving, upscaling, reusing materials within the building that we have. And we're really excited to make it an amazing place. And we are excited to have everybody involved and have everyone come to the new FOLAR home, Appomattox River Trail Center. We invite you to visit and take a look around and get excited like we are. There's the Brookhouse Run Creek there, right next door to the building. So exciting. So come on by, roll up your sleeves, help with the improvements if you want, contribute funds, because of course volunteers can't do it all by themselves. As a nonprofit, we have a need to raise money for these building improvements. The board set a goal of $50,000 for us to help achieve the improvements. We've achieved nearly half of that, and we'll be seeking additional funds to help meet that goal to get our improvements completed so we can move in this May, by this May. Whew, how about that? So, okay, this May, we're getting ready to, we'll open up our building. I think I saw the slide pop up, Sid. Yes, because now that we have this beautiful space, we'll be able to host our community service awards, the wonderful time each year that we honor all those folks, who have helped us along the way. So please mark your calendar. We're going to be having an exciting event there, honoring our community award winners and opening the trail center, the Appomattox River Trail Center. So we're very excited about that. So in addition to all of that, we'll still be conducting all our exciting events. Thanks, Sid. We're finishing up the state of the trail here, but we've got several more to go that we encourage you to come out and and enjoy all the activities along the trail here. And we also will be providing more opportunities, again, as we talked about, to continue the volunteer work of stewarding the river and our natural resources. And I'm going to pass it over to Elise to talk a little bit about that.
All right. Next slide, Sid. Yes. Hello, everyone. We have a full roster of more volunteer events this year. 2023 was a huge success. We had so many participants, and but as we're working along the trail, there is no end to the need for more help. We have, as we are implementing our invasive plant management plan, we are going to be continuing to work out there in the field. So that first question that we asked, which is our most popular volunteer event, many people answered invasive plant removal and trash cleanup, and those kind of tend to be a combined event. We usually have our stewardship Saturdays every month, are usually focused on invasive plant removal with an trash cleanup option. So we can always host for either of those volunteer tasks on those days. So whichever one you're interested in working with us, please join us on a stewardship Saturday. We have them every month, not on the same Saturday every month, but sort of this year we're trying to get them in the middle of the month. In addition to those, we also have our trail count days. Those are the days that are a little bit more of a relaxed volunteer event. You go to the trail, you take a chair, you sit down in the chair, or walk around and pick up trash at the trailhead, and you count who is coming to the trail, and let us know about it after the 2 hours period, I think. And that's a AM and PM event on 2 days. That's in May. This coming May is our spring trail counts, and we will have our fall trail counts in September. So as well as that, I want to let people know that I'm open to scheduling opportunities for people that can't make it out on a Saturday or have a group, like a corporate group or a private group, would like to come out and do a volunteer event on the trail at a time that isn't on this calendar. Please reach out to me. We are open to doing that. We love getting out there, and having volunteers with us just helps it along. This, I want to also especially announce the coming March events. As you see, March 9th, Stewardship Saturday, and March 23rd, Stewardship Saturday, we have 2 big planting events that Heather mentioned earlier. The March 9th will be in Colonial Heights. A large section of the trail was fully invaded with the Chinese Wisteria sinensis, and that has been mechanically removed. And to keep that plant from coming back and just taking that space over again, we will be planting in native plants, many of which have an edible aspect to them just for fun. So we would love to see you come out for that. And also at our Petersburg trailhead on March 23rd, we will have a native planting as well. We're going to be expanding our native plant garden at that trailhead and putting in new plants and amending the beds that we already have. That's going to be our big spring TLC event for that trailhead, and it's going to look great. I'm excited about that. So both of those are open for registration on the FOLAR meetup page, and I will link that in the chat momentarily. They're open for registration, so please go ahead and sign up. We always, want to keep our habitat along the river corridor healthy for the plants and animals that live there, and also for the people that use it. The next slide. For those of you that can't come out or, aren't interested in coming out for a volunteer event, we still would love for you to come out and enjoy the trail and experience that, the beauty of this space that we are working with. We have an interactive map on our website. If you go to the website on a computer, there will be the link as the arrow points to here at the top of the screen. If you go on your phone, you will click on the Appomattox River Trail tab and go to Maps, and it will pop right up on your phone as well. So this map shows all the amenities along the trail, what you can do. You can, it shows picnic areas, bathrooms, parking areas, fishing, kayaking. It shows rapids. It shows, and just to help you expand the ways that you can enjoy the trail and enable you to get out there and explore with confidence. So we would love to hear about any experiences that you have along the trail. Please feel free to reach out, tell us about anything that you see out there. And we'd love to hear if you just really loved it. So that's it for me. I'll pass it back to Wendy.
Thanks, Elise. Wonderful to be able to have that information and find your way to the trail. And that now brings us to the conclusion of our update for the year. Whew. We've been working hard, as I said, with all of you, with our partners. Please let us know if you have any questions. Now's a great time, or please do engage with the survey that will be coming out, and Jackie's gonna include the link so that we can learn about all that everyone all the ways everyone would like to engage and experience the Appomattox River. So thank you so much to everyone. We hope to stop by the new building. So exciting. We're there working, and we'd love to show you around, and mark your calendar for May 31st for the big reveal. So thank you, everyone, so much for all your partnership. We look forward to 2024 and beyond.
Questions?
Questions?
There was one person that asked about access to the slides that we presented today.
Sure, yes, they will be available. We'll have the recording has been on YouTube as well. So we'll have that available in the next few, shortly. How about that? Thanks for that question. And all these ways you can keep following us, please do. Join, follow, all of that, so we can expand our advocacy too. Thank you, everyone.